Hey folks, welcome back, Dr. D in the Dungeon. And so we've got a rather large project going here, jumping in midstream with the video. What I had before is I had a stairwell that was there that was built probably in the 40s, and it was nowhere near code, and it was very narrow, very steep, and it just wasn't good. And we lived with it for several years and decided time for a change. So built this stairwell as well as a mezzanine. And can you see the mezzanine up there? Okay. And then in keeping with my other projects, you notice there's no railing. Well, there's a reason for that. Not that I don't believe in railings, but I'm going to do something a little better. So, I don't know, 8 months ago, I made Cindy her set of bookcases for the library. She has outgrown those, and she is now encroaching upon my bookshelves. And so I have to make some more bookshelves, and I figured, man, what a wonderful opportunity to make some very large bookshelves. And so the thought here is that the bookshelves will wind up making a wall. And so we'll have 8 foot of bookshelves here going up, and then we'll also stair step those going on up. The mezzanine will have bookshelves on 3 sides, all facing in. At 4 foot. And so what that does is it makes a nice little mezzanine. It's a great place to put a lot of books out of the way, and it also will dress it up and serve as a safety rail as well. Obviously they will be attached to the stairwell, and so here we go. So what's the best way to do a project like this? The first thing that I did, I gotta find is I just drew. You want to come in and get a close-up of this? So after I built this, I went up and I took actual measurements, and then I looked at where do I want bookshelves and how much bookshelf do I need. All right, and you can come back in because we're going to go to another page. So you can see that up here on the top on the mezzanine, I have a total of 6 bookshelves. Right? I have 4 that are 36 inches wide by 48 inches tall. I have one that's 45 wide by 48. And then I have one that's 24 by 48. All right, and then down here, we've got our standard is a 36 by 96. And then I've got one that's just going to be a little bit truncated, 34 by 96. And then on the side of the stairwell here, we're going to have 2 36 by 72. So 3 foot by 6 foot. And that'll give me, I think, about 40 inches up as a railing. And it also makes it so that you can, on the stairwell, you can actually see out into the great room. So that's the plan. The next thing that I did is I just basically broke it down, and you could see right up here at the top, for an 8 foot bookshelf it'll have 7 tiers, a 6 foot it'll have 5 tiers, and a 4 foot will have 4 tiers. And what that means is the number of shelves, right? Or not necessarily the number of shelves, but the number of boards across, because we're counting the one from the bottom, the one on the top, and then adding in. So 7 tiers means that there's going to be 5 shelves in it. 5 tiers means there's 4 shelves, so forth and so on. And then the next thing that I did is I just basically make myself a little cut list, and you can see this is all just freehand drawing. It doesn't have to be accurate, but I looked at how many of what did I need to do. All right, and so by the time that I got all this calculated out, I needed 10 sheets of 3/4 inch plywood cut, and the ideal depth of these is 12 inches. All right, well, a piece of plywood is not quite, it's 48 inches, right? Well, if I cut it at 48, that last cut, that last piece is going to be a little bit less. So what I did is I went to Lowe's, and I've done this several times, and you can back up and look at me now. So I went to Lowe's this morning, and I just went to the manager on duty, and I said, hey, look, I'm going to be buying $600–700 worth of plywood, and I need them cut, and I need them ripped. And he said, oh, that's no problem. And I said, yeah, okay. So, you know, for the next 35–40 minutes, we went, and you know, the guys there, they ripped them 11 7/8. And what that did is it allowed for, even on the last board, there was just a little bit to cut, so all of the boards are exactly the same width, right? And so now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to start up on the top tier. And so I've got 6 bookcases that are 48 inches tall, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and I'm going to cut 12 48-inch uprights, and I'm going to go ahead and bring them up there, and then I'll bring my 96-inch uprights here, and then I'll bring my 72-inch uprights here, and then the rest of it is all going to be cut down according to my cut list for shelves. All right, so you know, it probably took me, I'm going to say I probably spent about 2 hours breaking this all down. And you know, is it 100% accurate? Probably not, but it'll be close. And you know, when I did the calculations on this, I wound up having 1/2 sheet of my 3/4 inch cabinet grade plywood as extra. And I went ahead, you know, like I said, I had everything cut into the 11 7/8 inch wide strips. And so if at the end I wind up with a little bit extra, great. I don't believe that I will, because again, I've got to make, on top of the 96-inch shelves here, I'm going to have to do a couple more short ones. Now, with that being said, I have a whole bunch of 24-inch cutoffs, right? I have a whole bunch of them, 4, 8, 16, 24, 26. I have 26 offcuts that are 11 7/8 wide by 2 feet long, 24 inches long. And so I have a couple places for those where the bookshelves are going to meet. If you can come back in here, please. So these bookshelves are going to meet here in this corner, right? And I'll go corner to corner with the bookshelves. All right, and so that's going to leave out here on this side is going to leave a corner, right? That's basically a hole. It's a square hole back in there. And so what I'll do is I'll use those 2-foot cutoffs to build in a set of shelves there, and you know, we'll put knickknacks or whatever out there for display out into the ballroom itself. And so anyhow, going to go ahead and take you out, and we'll start cutting our 48-inch uprights, and then I'll cut my 72-inch uprights. I have all the uprights cut, and we're just going to do this as time lapse. So hope you're enjoying this. Hope you learned something. See you in a little bit. All right, folks, so I've got 3 36 by 48-inch shelves to build. And then I have another one that's going to be down here that's going to be around 36, but probably it's going to be like 34.5. I won't know for sure until I get these other ones set in place, and then I'm actually going to measure. All right, because there's a little bit of discrepancy. While I tried to build this as square as possible, nothing in this house is level or plumb. And so, you know, building here has been a challenge at best. So, you know, I've learned to, the pieces that, you know, are independent, build them the size you want, and then measure from those, and you'll get your real values. And so that's what we're doing. So again, I want these to be 36 inch, and so what I've got is a 36 inch top cap and a 36 inch bottom cap. And basically what I'm going to do is I cut off a little strip. I don't know if you can see what's going on. Can you see what's going on? All right, and this represents, this is the inside of the board, and basically I just look at each of the boards and see, is there a side that should be inside rather than outside. And so this keeps me to the good. And now I've got this, I've got my combination square set at 1 inch. And so that is going to be my outside screws will go in there. And I'm going to pre-drill all of this simply because I don't want to disturb that. So this will be the inside. You'll never see these lines. And so yeah. And it'd be nice if I had an extra little piece of scrap wood up here, but I don't. So we'll do it like this. All right, so I'm just eyeballing these. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then this middle one, I'm just going to eyeball it. Alright, do the same over here. Alright, so now it's just kind of a simple matter. Standing these up, they should be the same width because we had them all at the same time. I'm using an inch and 5/8 screws. Should be plenty long enough. We got a little bit of discrepancy there. So I'm just going to start that in there, and I've got just the smallest amount of height discrepancy. It may be because we're not sitting level and plumb. Yeah, that plumbed it up nice. All right, and then that would have helped if that hadn't moved, but it did. And I'm not happy with that, so we're going to take that back out. Usually I'm not in such a precarious position to do this, you know, and I can actually get all the way around this thing, but it is what it is. All right. Baby? Never mind, I'm not even going to ask you because you hate heights. I need you behind me, is what I need you. Walk over here behind me. Walk over here behind me. And just sit down behind me. And I need you to hold this board. Just like that. What in the heck? Look, you're... What? Hold it here. Ow. Sorry. So it's got a bow in it, right? And so, like I
just need you to hold it side to side, okay? That's all I need. All right. Alright, so not too bad. Now I can screw this one back in. Okay. Now we can put the bottom one in. Alright, so there's one. And again, you know, these don't have to be perfect, but the more time we spend laying them out, the better. I need the board behind you, and I'm going to put it over here. No, dear, behind you. You want to sit behind me? Because there's not enough room for you to sit there. Looks pretty good. All right. There we go. 3 sides done. Now I need one of those boards behind you. And we're just going to rinse and repeat for the next board. And so we're going to put you on time lapse now. If I can turn the thing off. Okay, so you know, it doesn't take long to put these together. It's easier if I had a table large enough where I could set these out and work at waist level. It'd make it a lot easier and go a lot faster. But it is what it is. So now what I'll do, this should be 34.5. And then I'm going to make 2 spacers, right? And the spacers will set my shelf height. And so I'll drop a spacer in, drop a shelf in, and then screw it in. And so back in a minute for that, and go ahead and pause. Going? All right, hey folks, Dr. D back. All right, so I was thinking about putting 4 shelves in these, but you know, it's up on the mezzanine, so weight's going to be kind of an issue. And when I did the original calculations, I calculated 3 shelves, and you know, if I go, and when I went and looked at the other bookshelves that I built for Cindy, you know, 8-10 months ago, they were spaced at 15 instead of 12, and so that's what I'm going to do. So what I did to make this really quick and easy is I cut 2 pieces of this at 15 inches to serve as a spacer, and what that allows me to do is to place each shelf in the same place and hold it in place and drill and do all of that stuff really quickly. Again, this would go a lot faster and a lot easier if I were actually standing somewhere instead of kneeling up on this thing, and but I'm not. And so these go in. I'll go ahead and drill, and then throw a shelf in, put screws in to hold it, and then move on to the next. So we'll put this on time lapse here in just a moment. All right, folks, so as you can see, that went pretty quickly. And again, if I were working somewhere other than on my hands and knees 12 feet in the air, I probably already have 2 of these done. I'm working on a 3rd. But it just goes a little slowly. But once you get your process set up, it goes pretty fast. Now these are going to get a plywood backer. I typically use Luan because it's a little cheaper and it stains up nicely. And I also use it on my laser cutter, so any offcuts, get used. So this is really what it's going to be, and I'm going to put you on time lapse and let it go once we get started back with the next one. So again, I hope you're enjoying this video. Please like and subscribe. Hey folks, so got our second 4 foot by 36. I'm going to do another 4 foot by 36 here on the end. I was going to do a 24 inch here, but I didn't think about, so there's a power outlet here, right, that I need access to because I'm going to have some lighting and stuff up here. But as well as that, this other cabinet, right, is going to come out to here. And so there's a 12 inch, pretty much essentially a 12 inch gap here, which I didn't plan for. And so that makes this, I was going to put a 24 inch shelf right here, but I don't have enough room to do that. So probably what I'll do is I'll wind up going back and, well, you know what, I might just do some shelves there. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do some shelves there. I might do like
a corner shelf.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Because I have lots of extra stuff left over. But as much as I plan this out, it's really easy to overlook something simple like that that throws all your calculations off, because it's like, oh shoot, that's not going to work. But it's because I forgot to allow for that corner. Now I did it over here. I made that allowance for that corner on this side, but I didn't on this one for whatever reason. But it's just really, really easy to get caught up in the moment. And I've been back and forth over this plan, 4 or 5 times since I drew it out, envisioning it in my head, and I still missed it. So it happens. But anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to build one more 48 by 36 inch shelf. I was going to do these out here on this edge as 48 by 36, but it's too tall. It would be okay for me, but still it doesn't proportion well. So we're going to drop that down, and we're going to do probably 36 by 36s. There'll be 2 of them there. I think, well, no, there's 136 and 140, I think. I don't know, whatever. Or I might just do shelves there too. Probably 2 36s. Because that'll leave a basically it serves as a banister as well as a bookcase, and we can stack miscellaneous stuff on top of it because we got lots of stuff, lots of knick-knack, odd and end stuff that I've collected over the years to display, and that'll be as good a place as any. So anyhow, we'll put you back on time lapse here in a little bit, and we'll get the last of these 36 by 48 set up, and then I'm not going to time lapse the cutting of the materials for the 36 by 36. It's just the same old thing that you've been seeing, but we'll keep time lapsing the build on this. Ideally tonight I'll get all of these at least roughed in. None of them have backs yet, but I didn't want to buy backer material because I'm going to change the backer material on some of them. The ones that are out here will have a different backing material consistent with the rest of the decor in the house. Whereas these will just get a Luan backer that of course it'll be stained. All this will be stained. And I didn't want to spend a lot of money on backer material without knowing for sure what I needed. And so once I get these set, then I'll have a pretty good idea. So anyhow, appreciate you. All right, folks, wrapping up for the evening. So we deviated from the plan. We made these 36 inches instead of 48. And then there was a lot of shelf left without books and so, without shelves. And so I said, I'm going to go ahead and add another shelf in there. It's not perfect, but you know, it is what it is. So this will finish it up for the evening. Tomorrow we're going to build the ones downstairs, and then we'll start staining all this stuff. And then somewhere along the line we got to cut backer boards for them and all that. But got a lot done today. I'm pretty happy with it. So just hang with me for another few minutes and we'll finish up. I guess in the overall scheme of things, messing up one shelf out of all these, not too bad. It wasn't that I messed up, I grabbed a 34.5 inch board instead of a 36. I grabbed a center shelf instead of an upright. And so that caused a little consternation, but Cindy caught it really quickly, so not a catastrophic loss, not a catastrophic injury. Just, you know, wasted a board. But one board we can waste. Alright, now, probably catch this on video when this thing collapses underneath me. What's that looking like?
Good.
Pretty flush across the back.
Mm-hmm.
Lift this up. Now after we've stained all these, everything will get anchored to the floor so that you know, there's no people falling off, no books falling off, that kind of thing. Look at that.
right, so, and we still got, you know, a little bit of plumb issues in that corner. I have a little bit of plumb issue in that corner too, but you see I've already got a cover plate in there that will hide that for the most part. And yeah, I think I like it. So have a great evening. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Hey, good morning folks. Dr. D in a dungeon. It's a new day, and sorry I forgot to start the camera. So now we're starting on the we've got two 8-foot bookcases to go here. So they'll pan around here. So we're going to do one. You can stay right there. We're going to do one 36 inches by 8 foot, and then the other is going to wind up being about I think 34 inches, because we don't quite have 72 inches, and I'm still kind of trying to figure out what I want to do with this, whether I'm going to put 2x4 or 2x6 backing and then put a backer board on it, piece of siding or what. I'm not really sure yet. So we'll build the one 36 by 8. We'll measure what the other is, and then we'll go ahead and cut the horizontals for it. And then lastly, I want you to come on around. Come on around. And then lastly, we have two 36, and we're going to go 7 foot tall. So we were going to do 6 foot, but that wound up being right at, I think, 31 or 32 inches above this, just a little bit low to be a handrail or to be a wall. So going to 7 puts me up here, which, you know, there's a little better height. I don't want it to be a case of, you know, you miss the last step and you go over the top of the thing. I don't want that. So anyhow, we'll get those done, and then that will get done today. We'll probably get backers on these, and we'll probably start staining. So anyhow, I'm going to put you on time lapse, and you just follow along. As you can notice, we're working up here. I really overdid it yesterday. I'm very sore today. I can't do all the getting up and getting down. So we cleared off our island here, and so, you know, now we've got a workspace that's right at eye level. So this will be much better. Anyhow, put you on time lapse and follow along. All right, here we go. So got our two 8-footers up, and wound up, once I leveled that post, that I could get two 36 inches. I could get 72 inches, which is what I originally had intended. So anyhow, we got 2 more to build right here. So hang tight. We'll have some more stop action footage. All right, folks, so what we're doing here is I've got my spacers set up. These are set up on 15-inch from top to bottom. And then I just bring my carpenter square in here. I line it up with the top edge of that. And then I made this little template, and and these 3 holes are 1 inch, 1 inch, and then the center, which I don't remember what it was. So that allows me to get these things pre-drilled, and I'm not actually drilling all the way through. I'm just getting about halfway through, and that's good enough. So here we go. This allows us to move really fast and drill accurate. All right, that's it.
So we got all of the rough cabinetry done. Now, there are several level and plumb issues that I have to fix. Because this was a bottling company, the floor is sloped, and it's about 1 inch, a little over 1 inch for every 36 inches. So it's a substantial slope, and so in building everything here, I have accounted for that. So the bookshelves are no different. I have got makeshift stuff sitting in place right now, but it's nowhere near where it will be at the end. Also, none of the backers are on, and they're not attached to each other, except for these two bookshelves are actually attached to each other. All the others are just floating in space at the moment. So let's take a walk through. So as you walk up the grand central staircase, all right, so we got these two books, and then we've got another bookcase there. The goal is to make sure that we have something to serve as basically a rub rail, right? So you can't fall over the side. All right, so these bookshelves will actually open out to the kitchen area. So this will be closed off. All right, these will be opening out to the bar area. And then this one is going to be opening into the stairwell. All right, and as we go up, and then we've got the little Casbah. And then down we go. Hey folks, Dr. Inner Dungeon back, and we are getting these things stained. This is the part Cindy and I both hate the most. The one thing that I have learned in doing this is that if you try to stain them with the backer already in place, it makes it much more difficult. We are staining. Cindy's actually outside staining the backer pieces, which I cut earlier off camera. I mean, you've all seen people cut boards before, so I didn't really feel that was contributing. But yeah, so this one I made a mistake of actually attaching. There's two 7-foot by 3-foot joined together, and I went ahead and joined them because I was trying to figure out how to mount them over here. Because of that floor that we talked about, the floor actually slopes, like I said, so over that 72 inches, about 2 inches, maybe a little over 2 inches. And just trying to figure out how I'm going to block that up, because I don't want to go any higher with them, so I can't really build so I'm going to have to wind up shimming them. But let's go out and see what Cindy's doing. Hey folks, Dr. Inner Dungeon, and we're back. We got 5 of the shelves, the big shelves, 4 big shelves, 1 small, stained and installed. I actually got these leveled up this morning. Thought I had the camera on, didn't. Sorry. Now I'm taking the ones from upstairs down. I'm going to go up as soon as she's done vacuuming. I'm going to go up there and stain where these actually sit, and then we'll start taking them up and putting them in, and once they are installed, then I'll go and anchor them, and then we'll stain from the center out. And I wanted the staining of the stairs is going to be a little problematic in that the bedroom is up there, and so I don't want to be tracking stain everywhere, but I want to get them stained. So I don't know. I'm not sure what we're going to do to overcome that obstacle, if anything, but that's coming up. So I'm going to put you on, oh, what the heck do you call it? Anyhow, time lapse. Yeah, I'm going to put you on time lapse, and we've probably got, I don't know, another hour or so to do, and then we'll call the bookshelves done. Well, probably going to be about 3 hours also, but anyhow, we should have that done today. Hey folks, Dr. D in the dungeon, and I think we're going to wrap this video here. So we have worked, I think, a grand total of 6 days, and that included day 1 of tearing out the old steps, cutting the stringers, installing the stringers, all that. Day 1 was basically getting the steps so that we could go to bed that night. And then we were 3 days, I think, total on getting the steps and the little Casbah, whatever the hell it is. Not a Casbah. Anyhow, that thing. I'm tired. We're both tired. And so about 6 days, and I think at about $1,700, give or take. So not too bad. Still have a lot of finished work. We've probably got $500 or $600 worth of finished work and probably 2 or 3 days worth of finished work. I'm not going to bother with doing a video on that. I will do a short video when this is all done so that you guys can see the before and after and say, wow. So let's do a walkthrough. Let's take a look. So, you know, when I had this vision in my head, this is pretty close to it. We're not quite there yet. There's a couple more things that we have to do to make it truly there, but man, I'm super happy to see it. Let's take a look.
The final result.
Wait. This is for Martina. The final results! All right, so as you walk in, so this area I think will probably be our cookbooks and probably our books that we decided we're not going to keep and we're going to move them on out. And so that'll probably take up this whole thing because I've got a whole bunch of cookbooks over here, and please just, we're really not this messy, but you can see all the cookbooks over there, and there's more. So looking up, sorry for the light, this little gap, you might be asking, what's going to go there? There's going to be a series of shelves there for display, so we'll put stuff up there. And so here we go, going up. And again, you know, we've got exposed corners here. I have an answer for that. So let me see where you can see this. So here you can see I just had a little bit of material left over and mitered the edge, and we'll carry that through over to here, and all those rough edges we're going to do that with. I had a bit of a gap here, and so I made a cover panel for that. Nice and happy with that. I'll have to do something on the back side of it. Coming on up, so we have, sorry, not trying to make you dizzy. This little bookshelf opens out into the stairwell because we couldn't reach it otherwise. Mezzanine, that's the word I'm looking for, mezzanine. And so up here on the mezzanine, these are probably all my professional books. Like I said, I'm real happy. We've got to sort out the lighting right now. I've got an LED bulb hanging up there. But man, I couldn't be happier. Everybody say hi to Cindy. Hi, Cindy. All right, so that's a wrap. Please like and subscribe. If you made it all this way, you know, this is probably going to be an hour-long video, I'm guessing. I haven't even started looking at video clips yet, but it's going to be a lengthy video. But I think that it's a good video. It will be a good video when it's all said and done. Please check out my Patreon page. I have a link in the description. So again, thanks for watching. Have a great evening. Have a great weekend. Talk to you out.